Hola a todos, bienvenidos a una nueva entrevista aquí en The Dark Melody. Hoy me encuentro con Aydan de Elvenking, los italianos que hacen folk power metal.
I stood strong, firm to my loyalty, no bones in the blackened sea. Up to you, I'm falling down.
How are you, Aydan? Nice to meet you.
Hello there. Nice to meet you. And everything's fine here. Spring is coming, so everything is good.
Yeah, here autumn is coming, so everything.
Autumn is coming. Yeah.
Okay. So listen, I saw you on the 70,000 tons of metal a couple of months ago. So
You were there?
yeah, I was there.
Oh, great.
In fact, I was scheduled to do this interview with you there.
Okay.
But there was too much stuff going on at the same time, so I couldn't make it. But
I know.
yeah, it was crazy. But when the opportunity came out to do this interview, I didn't hesitate, and here we are. So I had to
Great.
do it.
Yeah, finally we did it.
Yeah. Do you have fun on the cruise? How was your first time there?
Yeah, it was great. Obviously, the atmosphere there is amazing. Having the possibility to go into the sea with all these great bands and so on. And as you were there, you have seen and witnessed the situation. So it was a very kind of weird situation because, you are in the boat with all the other bands. You can watch the bands while you are having a drink or whatever. So
Yeah.
it was really, really great. In terms of performance, we had some big technical problems during our first performance. So it wasn't so great because especially me had a lot of problems with the guitar and gear and stuff. So it wasn't great. The second one instead was more than okay.
From the point of view of the fans, I think it was amazing. Both shows, I was at both shows, and we had a lot of fun. So
Great.
it was no problem.
It happens often that as a musician, when you are inside, you hear a lot of stuff not as you would like to have.
Yeah.
And then the fans instead reacts very well anyway. So that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Maybe you can have problems, you have some mistakes or stuff like that because things are not working, guitars are not working and so on. But then if outside there is the correct energy and everyone is in the right mood, everything is great. So that's the main thing.
That was just the case there. So my story with Elvenking, I became a fan of Elvenking like 16 years ago, I think, when you released the album The Side.
Okay, cool.
It's one of my favorite albums. Sometimes I think it's an underrated record because I don't know if fans understood it at the time. But I think The Divided Heart is one of my favorite songs ever from Elvenking. So thank you for playing that on the second night of it. I had a blast there.
Great.
Do you think fans didn't understand the direction of that album at the time? I think it's your album that you changed the direction a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Especially at the time, as you said, it was not understood at all. Mm-hmm. We had a lot of critics, a bad reaction to the album because obviously we were supposed to go into the same direction we were doing before. So something more probably power metal oriented with folk influences. Instead, exactly in that period of time, we kind of felt like, a lot of similar bands were coming out, We started playing folk metal back in 1997 when we started following the lesson from the British band Skyclad, which is probably one of the first band, using folk influences and violins and stuff like that. And we kind of felt like we were one of the, I don't want to say the first band, but between the first bands playing folk metal at the time. Other bands than like Ensiferum and Edubetia, they even came after us, But still, I think we believe that there are, our contribution to the folk metal scene was not really considered at the time. So we said, okay, there are a lot of bands coming out with the same sounds, trying to copy. We already did this. We want to try something different, and we try to do something more related to our more our extreme influences like death metal and some kind of black metal. Mm-hmm. And especially because of the side was not really a concept album, but was a theme album around the theme of death. Yes. All the music mood follow the lyrics and so on. So it was a kind of very heavy and very dark, obscure album, and it was not at all, understood at the time. Even if the Divided Heart is probably still one of our main single, and the single went great and so on, and also the album, to be sincere, sold really well, especially in the US. This is was kind of strange because we were more a European band, but we had a lot of bad reaction from our core fans, and they still ate the album. I as you said, I think it was not understood completely, because of us. I don't know, some reasons.
I think it's very, very poetic album with all of the very, very dark. But yes. That single was amazing for me, and the whole album, and I still listen it from time to time. So I think
great.
It's great. But now we are in the present, so you're preparing for the release of your coming album, Reader of Rooms, Rapture, coming April 28th through AFM Records. So
yes.
Already listening to the whole album. It's another banger from you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
How are you preparing for this release? Are you excited to see the fans' reaction?
Yeah, we are. I don't want to say, we were talking about the site, and I don't want to say that it is kind of maybe close to that album, but there are, it is a little bit darker and more obscure album compared to the previous one. So there are some small the side influences in that. So let's hope it won't be another, how to say, an album for the critics and for the bad words around. But I don't believe so, because I think this is a more mixture between our typical sound. There are a lot of folk influences. It is surely darker and a little bit more obscure, because the Reader of the Runes story, it is a concept album, and we need to follow the story with the music. So this second chapter of the story is much more violent, is where the blood is more obscure. So the music follows the lyrics and the stories a lot. So I'm pretty curious to see what are the fans' reaction to this. But the first reaction to the first 3 singles are very good. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah, so this is gonna be part 2 of a complete trilogy, right?
Correct.
How do you decided to create this ambitious concept as a trilogy of album? This is not something that is very common nowadays. So do you have the structure completed from the beginning, or what do you have in mind?
Yes, we had in mind to do a concept album since a lot of years. There are a lot of big, our favorite bands like King Diamond. We are big King Diamonds fans, for example. So we wanted to have a concept album, and we needed to find the right story, because otherwise, and we thought about, every now and then, okay, maybe we can do a concept album, but we didn't have the right story to write and to create a concept album around. So when the idea came out, me and Damna tried to put down this idea, and this idea was, was growing and growing and growing. And we were adding stuff to the stories, and it was then immediately clear that it was not possible to include everything in only one album. We went with the flow, and the story was coming so big that it was okay. And we said, okay, we need to split in more albums. And in the end, we tried to understand how many albums, and we decided to do 3 albums, like it was a big story divided in 3 different chapters. So it's not very common, as you said, but maybe it's also interesting from another point of view.
I think it's going to be very interesting. And I also eager to hear the conclusion, the part 3, but I know you're also preparing that because you work on parts 2 and 3 together, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was mostly because of the pandemic and the COVID situation, everything. The plan was to go and work on part 2 and then record the part 2 and do it the normal way, and then have touring and then record part 3. But everything was stopped because of the pandemic. We couldn't, go out from home. You couldn't, at least in Italy, you couldn't travel from one city to another. So it was a really strange time where there was nothing to do. So the only thing for us was just sit down and write music, and we kept on writing, waiting for something to be, to be solved about these pandemics things. And in the end, we find out that we were so many ideas that we could easily fill 2 albums. So in the end, we also had the luxury and the plus to have all this music, these songs ready, and we could easily move one song to another album. Following, okay, this is perfect for part 2, this is not really okay, we can use it for part 3, maybe part 2 has not enough a fast song, and so we had this very good thing that we could have placed the song also following especially the mood of the album. So I would say that the part 2 is more is darker and more obscure. Part 3 is gonna be more romantic, I would say, something like that, a little bit more sad. So there are 2 different moods in the 2 albums. So that was very good for us.
Nice. So we can expect a lot of things from you in the coming years, I think. So
yeah.
This was my last question, because as I said, it's a very short interview.
No problem.
So what are your plans for the rest of the year? Are you planning, I think you're planning to tour with this new album? What are your plans for the rest of the year and the next one?
Yeah, we were talking about part 3. Part 3 is already set for August 2024. So there is not, there are 2 close albums. It is something new also for us to have two albums, one after 1 year, only 1 year. So it's going to be a lot of, we need to a little bit try to understand how to make this thing work, because the album will be released and we will go for sure on tour. We are now planning things around. There are a lot of things in negotiation at the moment for touring. We will see. Then we will release the next album and probably tour again. And maybe we can do, at the end of the trilogy, maybe we can try to think about something that covers all the 3 chapters together.
Oh, that will be awesome. Yeah.
Yes.
So you came to Latin America 2 times, I think, right?
Yeah, exactly. One with NC Ferrum, one headlining tour. We hope to come back as soon as possible, because it's always amazing to come there.
You need to come back.
One of the best experience.
Yeah, you need to come here to Uruguay. I'm gonna tell to the promoters to
see. Uruguay we never came, so we absolutely need to come. So if you know some promoters, spread the name.
Yeah, we need to do this, man. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
The album. So hope we can do this again sometime.
Absolutely, when you want, and we hope to come there in Uruguay. Let's see.
Yeah, of course, man. Okay, thank you, man. Bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye. Thanks a lot.